why Christina Applegate has been wearing diapers. I mean, guys, if you look at the reality when it comes to modern women, many of them, they were out in the streets with Chad, Tyrone, Ray Ray, Pookie, Enrique, Miguel, Little Poncho. They love Little Poncho. They love Little Poncho. I mean, just imagine all those times that Little Poncho was in your bed, drinking his tequila, kicking his little feet, farting, when you are out working, trying to take care of her, trying to, you know, put food on the table and look at what you got. Well, reality is now setting in. Reality is now 100% beginning to set in for modern women as they're basically seeing, what the consequences of choosing to say, I'm a boss, I could do bad all on my own, I don't need no man. And that's just not the case. Many of you, when you hear me discuss Little Poncho, you think it's a game. When I talk about the relationships, I had one guy, a white guy, who said, he left a comment and he said, when, he was there working hard trying to take care of his woman, and he got to the house, got home, and there were like, I don't know if it was like three or four guys, coming out of his house. And one of these guys literally looked at him and said, "You're next." Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. When I was growing up, there used to be 304s in the area. There was a 304 that I went to school with. And I remember my middle school graduation. We sat together, and instead of going to high school, she just basically, because I grew up in New York, she just went straight to the streets, and she began just selling it out, just putting it out there on the streets. And she would literally go to a specific area and she would go and look for customers and clients. And it got so bad that at one point, because we lived close, she started basically just selling it from her house. And it's just like, holy cow, holy cow. Eventually, her parents actually shipped her overseas. They sent her out of the country. I mean, she hadn't even graduated from high school. Like, she never went to high school. She just basically, she went straight to the streets. I mean, that just shows you how old I am. Because back in, today, it's, you don't hear these stories. When I was growing up, this was normal. She wasn't the only girl who did it. She was not the only girl who did it. This was just a normal thing in New York back then. Okay, some people went to school, other people went to the streets. And it doesn't matter the kind of family you came from. It doesn't matter your ethnicity. None of these things matter. Okay, this is something that affects every single community. Check out, and when I talk about women going out there, returning to the streets, you know choosing Little Poncho, Tyrone, Ray Ray, Pookie, Enrique, Miguel. These dudes, when I say Little Poncho is laying in your bed and farting in your bed, and MK Fitness says goes, and he pee-peed a little on your pillow because he likes to keep your pillow between his legs. You know how like some people like to sleep with a pillow between their legs? Little Poncho likes to sleep with your pillow between his legs. Not his pillow, but your pillow between his legs. And sometimes he gets a little pee-pee on that.
This is why you come to Miami! Stop! This is why you come to Miami!
That is a towel boy! Stop!
What? You think I'm still got your name tatted on me? I got your name tatted on me!
Look, you gotta stop, alright? Relax. Nobody told you to get my name tatted on you. Now you look stupid with my name tatted on your back. Relax. Come inside. Because he's not leaving and you're not leaving either.
He's not leaving and you're not leaving either. So basically, for some context, he found his girl cheating on him in a hotel room that he was paying for. This guy is not overweight. This guy is fit. This guy has his money in order. He has his bread. What does that? What ends up? This, guys. This is, you can't do any better. There's a lot of these dudes who are trying to tell you, get your money up, go to the gym, work on yourself, and all of this stuff. all of this stuff, and it's like red pill, red pill, red pill. Guys, guys, this is why you need black pill. I call it black pill 2.0 because there's some truths that many people can't ignore. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter how much you work on yourself, she will never love you. She can love things about you. She can love some of the things you can do for her. She can love things that you have, but she will never specifically love you. The men that she loves will always be in the streets. And it's a hard truth for a lot of guys to swallow. It's a hard pill for a lot of guys to swallow. You have guys who they've been married for like 10, 20, 30 years, and they're like, my wife loves me. I know for a fact that she loves me. And then after almost 40 years of marriage, they find out that none of their kids are theirs, and they just can't comprehend it. And it's like what these guys don't understand is like, yeah, you thought she loved you. No, she was okay with the arrangement for 30 or 40 years. But guess what? She was still doing things that you didn't realize. Like, for example, when a woman breaks up with you, she's already broken when she finally executes it, like finally goes for the divorce, she's already divorced you long before that happens. Okay? That divorce took place in her head sometimes years ago. Okay, she's already come to the conclusion that she was going to divorce you. She's already grieved the whole separation. She's already done all of that. That's over. She's far ahead of that. She's literally in the future now, already on to the next guy. And what do I mean, like on to the next guy? I mean, she's already seeing him. They're already making plans for the future. She's far ahead. She is gone. She left that marriage yesterday. She left that marriage years ago. All right. You just didn't realize it because men refuse to understand women. And it's like, it's painful that some dudes don't understand. Men and women do not think the same. We are not the same. We are different people.
It's gonna be gross. Sorry, guys. I woke up at 3:00 in the morning in a pool of
Christina.
shit.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't know what happened, but this brings me to my next point, which we can talk about.
Great.
I'm wearing diapers.
Christina Applegate getting extra real with her fans, opening up about why she's wearing diapers.
I can't even begin to tell you.
On the latest episode of her and Jamie Lynn Sigler's Messy podcast, the actress, who's been battling multiple sclerosis for 3 years, gets completely transparent about the whole diaper situation, saying it started after she got COVID from one of her friends.
My caretaker, Cheryl, got it. I got it. And this other person got it. Like, all this fear of having MS and being immunocompromised and getting it, I was like, oh man, I'm so good. And then it turned into long COVID and it turned into a chest infection.
And when her symptoms kept getting worse, she says the doctor told her she actually had another virus too.
I have something called sapovirus. It is when you ingest the fecal matter of someone else from your food.
Now, things are getting graphic here as Christina explains bathroom troubles ensued.
I started having, like pissing out of my ass for a few days. Okay, I'm gonna be gross. Sorry, guys. I woke up at 3:00 in the morning in a pool of
Christina.
shit.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't know what happened. It's not fun, but this brings me to my next point, which we can talk about.
Great.
I'm wearing diapers. Yeah, wearing diapers.
Just talking about it.
Christina says it's been almost 3 weeks of being sick.
Now, guys, I want you to think about this very carefully. So many men, after I made my first video on Christina Applegate, reached out. She has multiple sclerosis. She has lesions on her brain. She's currently using a cane to walk, I believe. And she's been talking about all of these. And I have all these men reaching out to me and saying, let's say that, I have multiple sclerosis, I have lesions on my brain, and I'm an electrician or I'm an engineer, I have to take care of myself, I have children to raise, I have all of these different things to do. And they basically break down their current life. And they explain, I've been having multiple sclerosis for like 10 years now. And that's just the reality of it. Men pick up their cross and walk. Okay? Men basically suffer through it and live through it and move on. because men don't have anyone else to take care of them. As men, we have to survive. We have to keep on pushing. We don't have, we don't have the sympathy or empathy. Guys, think about the logistics of this. Like, for example, you saw the video I showed you a little while ago of this woman cheating on this man, and then telling him that he's not going anywhere. Both of these men need to get in the room. Both of these men need to get in the room. The guy that she was being intimate with, and having her relationship with on her partner, because basically she can't live without this man. Think about the logistics of this. She goes, I didn't tell you to get my name tattooed on your back, but at the same time you're not going anywhere. Did you hear what she says? You're not going anywhere. He's gonna both of you are gonna get inside of this room, y'all. In other words, she can't live without him. Okay, he likely would not have gotten her name. He should no man. You should never get a woman's name tattooed on you. But you have to understand that he truly believed that she was the one. The way that they were together, the way and guys, that's the thing. She can't live without him. This is not a woman who can take care of herself like that. You can tell this is her husband. This is her husband. This is a guy who is going to be there for her through thick and thin, through sickness and in health. All right, you realize how you can tell right off the bat. This is a man who'll do anything for her. She will never find any other man who will probably do as much for her as this man. And while she's there throwing stuff back in his face, at the same time she's telling him that he can't go. So she won't let this man go, but at the same time she wants him to just take it and have this other man in the room. And it's like, I don't even know. He should have just he should have just walked away. He really should have just walked away. This is the reason why we have men walking away right now. Guys, y'all need to start posting MWA on Facebook, post it on social media. Get the term going, because that's really all it is right now. It's meant, tell the entire world, tell men, every man send them to the Men Walking Away website. Okay, let these men know that there is hope out there. Okay, there is Hakuna Matata. There is soft guy era. You are better than that. Okay, you are a king. You deserve better. Okay, she should be buying you flowers. What do I mean by flowers? If she wants to be in a relationship with you, she should be buying you flowers. And you know what flowers for men are? Bitcoin is flowers for men. By the way, guys, don't forget we have another channel called Angry, where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me. There's a link to it in the description of the video. Go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Support my work. I also have another channel called Men Walking Away, where I discuss where I discuss other subjects. I discuss videos like the one we're watching right now. If you're enjoying the content on the Angry Guy channel, you want to watch even more videos like this video, you want even more Angry Guy content, you can go over to Men Walking Away. I put out daily videos on Men Walking Away. So you can check that out, subscribe to that channel, enjoy the content on that channel. I mean, guys, it's kind of crazy. Like, these women, they say in sickness and in health. Christina Applegate is actually married, to my understanding. She does have a husband, but most modern women today won't have that. And, when, they won't last forever. Like, guys, once you start getting older, especially this generation of women, the millennial women, and especially Gen Z, like Gen Z is at the very worst right now. Gen Z women are in the worst possible position, because they're passing away faster than every previous generation of women, them and the youngest of the millennials. And you have to think about this. The lifestyle that all of these women have lived is so bad. Like, these young women right now, they're aging so rapidly. Gen Z is aging so rapidly. Like, any fool can realize that they're going to have high rates of everything. Like, every health issue, everything. They're gonna, what 75 what women are getting in their 70s and their 50s, 60s, and 70s, these women are going to be getting in their 20s. Okay, what women are getting in their 70s and even 80s, these women are going to be getting in their 30s. You heard me right. Like, Gen Z is not long for this one. What do you think regarding all of this, guys? Because these women, they say in sickness and in health, but most women, they're not going to have someone that's going to be there for them when these things happen. Chad and Tyrone is not going to be there for you, helping you to change your diaper when when things fall apart. They're gonna, these men, it's from the streets that they came, and it's to the streets that they shall return. These men never left the streets. Chad and Tyrone never leave the streets. I will tell you, and you know what's funny about Chad and Tyrone? I've told you constantly, these are just brothers from different mothers, because sometimes you'll see like homeless white guys out in the streets, and you can say like, well, this guy looks pretty handsome, like he used to be really, really handsome. What happened to him? That's an old Chad. That's an old Chad. You see, just like Tyrone, he spent his entire life not developing himself and just going from woman to woman. And even as he got older, he was still living off his looks. But eventually, it runs out. Now you have these dudes in their 60s and 70s, and he has no skill sets. He has, and there's really nowhere for him to turn to anymore. He's Social Security is not even going. He didn't even work enough to collect Social Security, so his options are zilch. His options are complete and utter zilch, and he's looking towards other men to help him out. And little do you know that this I call him Tyrone. They're brothers from different mothers. That this the kind of lifestyle that this old Chad was living. Okay, living a really good life. Women paying his rent and his bills over the course of his life, and now he's out in the streets because he never learned how to properly take care of himself as a man, develop himself as a man, and that's his reward. That's his reward. Just like how women become millionaires at 18. He became a millionaire at 18. He became a millionaire, and in the sense that he was getting everything for free. He had women taking care of him. Access to he was getting access to all of the women versus men that have to work on themselves. He was living an easy life, at PlayStation, everything, or video games, everything. And 40 years just slipped by, and now he's hungry and homeless. I don't feel bad for these people. And modern women don't realize, like, your health doesn't last forever. Like I said, a lot of them are not doing well. They're doing worse than their grandmothers. They're doing worse than their mothers. And when hard times arrive, hard financial times, and hard health times, they're not going to be able to do anything. You know, they made the decision for themselves that they didn't like these men. These men are leaving. These men are not speaking to them. The social, like right now, the mainstream media is coming after the soft guy era. They are furious about soft guy era. They're furious that men are walking away and out here living their best lives and just staying inside and enjoying themselves. On Reddit or 4chan, just watching videos, playing games, and walking away from the gym. They're very few. They don't want to admit it, how toxic these places have become. Now they're getting furious that men are leaving the gyms because they're like, oh, so men are not working out anymore. Men are no longer working those long. Men are 30 million men are not working. Men have dropped out of the workforce. They're not contributing to the economy anymore. These are the liberal elites who are basically sounding the alarm now and going and literally like, men aren't getting married, men aren't working anymore, men are not taking care of society. Because I've said this before, men are they say that women are the gatekeepers to physical intimacy, but men are the gatekeepers are women are the gatekeepers to physical intimacy. But keep in mind, men are the gatekeepers of society and of the relationship. And this is what people don't comprehend. Men are the gatekeepers of society, men are the gatekeepers of prosperity, and men are the gatekeepers of the relationship. Without men, there is no relationship. But yet women like to say that, oh no, I am the table, I am the relationship. So men go, oh really? Okay, then we're done. The truth is that men are the prize because we come with our value. While a woman has to create value in a relationship, a man brings his value with him. Okay, before a man even thinks about going out with a woman, he has to have money in his pocket. He has to be able to pick her up. He has to be able to do things for her, unless he's a Chad or a Tyrone, and then he just gets everything for free. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed here today. Why Christina Applegate's been wearing a diaper. Let me know your thoughts and we'll discuss it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men Walking Away. And cheers.